This is the Para Cave Podcast, proudly brought to you by major sponsor Parramatta Leagues Club, home of the Eels, and also home of Jack's Pale Ale.
Welcome to another episode of the Para Cave Podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Para Cave.
And yes, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Para Cave Podcast. Troy Warner here. Alongside me is my little co-host, Ella. Ella, how's your week been?
Good.
That's good.
Except for today, because in class we had a different teacher.
Okay, well,
And that wasn't very nice.
that's no good. But anyway, that's not good to hear. But we did have Gelato Monday yesterday, so that was good. Now, this is the tipping podcast for round number 23. Only, 4 more rounds after this one. So 5 more weeks of regular tipping and rugby league.
Oh, and all the people listening to this, you're going to be pretty surprised with my tip at the end.
Okay, well, geez, we'll have to wait till that one. I
So
think you
you're
might.
going to have
I think
to listen to
well,
the whole podcast.
Yes, I think, okay, yeah. The listeners will be in suspense.
That's how I get people to listen.
Okay, good stuff. So this is the tipping podcast brought to you by Assure Strata Reports. Give them a follow on Instagram, and also Buddy Old Man Masters Boxer. Give him a follow on Instagram as well. Proud sponsors of the tipping competition on the Para Cave podcast, which is getting down to the nitty gritty. So thank you very much for the support of that one. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. Cracker of a game starting the round off. Now, I must mention too that this is Indigenous round in the NRL. There is actually 2 weeks of Indigenous rounds. So this week and next week, something that the NRL...
Yeah, obviously this week and next week.
Yeah, so obviously something that the NRL hasn't done before. So 2 weeks Indigenous round. Usually it has just been the one, but it is 2 this week.
That's nice.
Well, this time around. And there's some cracking games ahead. It kicks off in Melbourne on Thursday night. The Storm, another Thursday night game after their win last week on Thursday against Parramatta. But this time they're playing the Broncos down at Amy Park. And look, Trent Liero is back on deck after being rested last week. And Alec McDonald is listed among the reserves as he looks to return from a rib injury. The Broncos, they've got a big in. They have Payne Haas. He is back to tackle the Storm pack, and boy, will the Broncos need him, I think, against these Melbourne Storm team. He had an infected cut on his leg, so he...
That's not nice.
No, definitely not. So he sat out last week. Xavier Willison is also sidelined with a broken arm, suffered last week against the Broncos. So that couple of one in, one out for them. Still, their team looks pretty strong, to tell you the truth about that one. Look, the last time they played was last season. It was a massive win to the Storm, 50 points to 12. So the form line of these two sides, well, it's 4 wins out of 5 for each team. So these two sides are in a little bit of form in the last 5 weeks. And look, their points, they're pretty much the same, pretty much on everything, to be honest, in terms of stats. But look, this will be the Melbourne. They are just waiting for, I guess, September to come along. That's when the finals start. So they are just cruising towards that. They are potentially looking at another minor premiership. Only the Raiders, I guess, stand in their way at the moment. The Storm are in second place on the ladder. The Broncos, they are on 28 points in 6th spot now, so they are 2 points out of the top 4. So they will want to try and get into the top 4 as well, battling for that 4th position on the ladder with the Panthers and Warriors. Ella, who are you tipping in this one?
Are we in the first?
Yep, first game of the round, Storm and Broncos.
I'm going for the Storm.
Yeah, I will go for the Storm
I
as
think
well.
most people would.
Yes, I think the Storm... Look, I'm going to say 1-12 in that one.
1-12.
1-12, the Storm will get that one done.
That's so interesting.
The first game on Friday night is up in Newcastle, McDonald Jones Stadium, which saw the NRLW Magic Round last weekend, and torrential rain up there. I don't know how the field's holding up this week, but nevertheless, Knights and Panthers.
I already know who I'm going for in this one.
Okay.
But you still need to ask me.
Okay, Ella, who are you going for in this one?
I'm going for the Panthers.
Of course,
Obviously.
of course. And look, the Bradman Best is back for the night, so that's a massive boost for them. They have been without him since round number 20. Jake Arthur comes in at halfback for his club debut, so another halfback for... 5'8", he's been listed as. So another half combination there. Jack Cogger is the halfback. So another half in the halves, you could say. And for the Premiers, the Panthers, they have lost Isaiah Yeo to a shoulder injury. Isaiah Papali'i shifts to lock. Liam Martin starts in the second row. But Scott Sorensen is back from a leg injury, so... Good news for the Panthers there. Ella, we've already got your tip, the Panthers.
Yeah.
I will tip the Panthers as well in this one. I think they will get the job done. They got a lucky escape last week against the Titans, but I think they will get this job done and cruising towards the top four. They'll want to get another top four finish in that one. So, look, if you look at both sides... how they have tracked. They have played earlier on this season. It was a 25-6 win for the Newcastle Knights. I think that was during the Origin period. Nevertheless, it was a great victory to the Knights, one of their best of the season. That was played out at Bathurst. That was the Panthers' home game. Dylan Lucas scored a hat-trick on that day. So, you never know. They could beat the Panthers. You never know. But I'm tipping the Panthers. Unfortunately, I'm thinking 13 plus in that one. The second game on Friday night is down in Canberra. Ooh, geez, it's going to be cold down there. 8 p.m. on Friday night sees the Raiders take on the Sea Eagles. Now, the Sea Eagles, they find themselves in... where are they? They are in 10th spot on 24 points. So, look, there is still a glimmer of hope of them making the 8, but... they have to win this game. They lost to the Roosters last week. For the Raiders, look, they are marching on towards a minor premiership. They still have one bye to come too as well. So they got the same 17, but they did drop a game last week against the Dragons. Dragons played really well. And look, this week... the Raiders have won 9 this year. The Raiders have won 9 from 10 at home. So, a very, very good home record for the Manly Sea Eagles. It is a return to fullback for Tom Trbojevic. So, Lehigh Hopewadi, unfortunately, has done his shoulder. So, that is the reason for that switch. So, I'm assuming Tommy will be happy with that one. His favoured position. Tommy Talau moves from the bench to the centre. Aaron Shoup joins the bench. Ben Trbojevic is concussion protocols, replaced by Michael Cheekham, who will play his first game of the season. This game at Canberra, as I said, very, very cold, 8 p.m. on a Friday night. Look, I think the Raiders, they won't drop too many games this season. They haven't already, so I can't imagine them dropping another one in front of their home fans. I think they will go for another victory. I think it will be a close game, I think. I think the Sea Eagles will be tough to beat, but if we look at the last time they played, it was... a big win to Manly, 40 points to 12 against the Raiders. So that was probably one of the early games that the Raiders unfortunately lost at the start of the year, as it was round number 3. So the team has changed there for the Raiders since. So it won't be a massive scoreline like that, I don't think. But I am tipping the Raiders down in Canberra. Ella, who are you tipping in that one?
What one are we up
Raiders
to?
and Sea Eagles.
I'm going for the Raiders.
Yep, good choice. Good choice. Look, the first game on Saturday is 3 p.m. The Dragons and the Sharks, two arch rivals. The Dragons in 11th spot on the ladder. The Sharks are in 7th position on the ladder. So the Sharkies, they will be wanting to try and consolidate a position in that top 8. So they are just a couple of points ahead of 8th spot. Shane Flanagan, he sticks with the same side that beat the Raiders last week. Good win for them down in Wollongong. And also Tyrell Sloan, he's going to be a try scorer, I reckon, in this game, because he has scored 6 tries in his last 5 games. One change to the side that beat the Cowboys last week for the Sharkies, with Toby Rudolph joining the bench, returning from concussion protocols. So not very many changes in that one. Ashley Klein is the referee. This game being played at Kogarah Jubilee Oval, 3 p.m. Saturday. Two fierce rivals. The Dragons, look, they played really good footy last week to beat the Raiders, and the Sharkies, they overcome the Cowboys. This could go any way. But Ella, who are you tipping in the Dragons and the Sharkies?
I'm going for the Sharks.
Yeah, look, I think I will go the Sharks as well. As I said, they're in 7th spot on 28 points. The Dragons are in on 20 points in 11th. So, look, I think they are too far gone to make the 8. So, a more important game for the Sharkies, but the Dragons in front of their home fans will want to get a win. So, but I am tipping the Sharkies in that one. The next game that is played on Saturday sees the Dolphins taking on the Roosters. So another crucial game, and some of these games are really crucial at this time of the year, because it's a matter of getting that position in the top 8, top 4. But this game especially is the Dolphins up against the Roosters. So, look, two sides that the Dolphins are in 8th spot, looking towards getting their first spot in NRL finals. The Roosters, they are in 9th spot. The Roosters are on 24 points. The Dolphins are on 26. So, potentially a chance for the Roosters to jump into that top 8, although the Dolphins have a superior for and against, having been one of the best attacking sides in the NRL this year. They have played earlier this year. It was 36 points to 26 to the Roosters, so a very high scoring game there. Both sides have won 3 out of their last 5. For the team list, well, the big news for the Dolphins is their strike centre, Herbie Farnworth, is out with a hamstring injury for about 4 to 6 weeks. So that is a massive blow. Felice Kafusi is suspended, so Mark Nichols starts at prop, and Trent Robinson has stuck with the same 17 that beat Manly last week. So no changes to them. So, Ella, who are you tipping in the Dolphins and the Roosters to be played at Suncorp Stadium, 5:30 p.m. on Saturday?
Why do you have to give me all that extra information?
Just letting the listeners know.
I'm going for the Dolphins.
Okay.
A very simple answer.
Yeah.
Not like you.
No, I will go the Dolphins as well. I think they, despite the loss of Herbie Farnworth, I think they can still get the job done and get the win and get that first finals berth.
I only said that because you were like, something versus Dolphins something PM on Sunday.
Yeah. Saturday night, 7:35, sees the Bulldogs and the Warriors take the field at Accor Stadium. Now, the Bulldogs, they had a loss against the Tigers last week. It was a big loss to them, to the Tigers. The Tigers played really well. The Bulldogs sit in third spot on the ladder at the moment. The Warriors are in fourth spot. The Warriors are on 30. They've got the Panthers and the Broncos and the Sharkies breathing down their neck. The Bulldogs, well, they're on 34 points, so they look like they will probably be battling for a top 2 spot with the Storm. So top 2, you get a home final, so that will be one big advantage for the Bulldogs. The Warriors, they had another injury during the week as well. Although they do get Chanel Harris-Tavita back from a calf injury in the number 6. James Fisher-Harris is part of the extended squad as well. He also had a calf injury as well, so he is looking to get that one as well. Tamari Martin slides back onto the interchange bench as well for the Warriors. And look, it was Jacob Laban has got a broken leg, unfortunately, and Wade Egan a shoulder injury as well. So, geez, they're really having the injuries in the forwards at the Warriors at the moment. So that is no good for them. Look, no panic from the Bulldogs despite that loss against the Tigers. There was a little bit of a word about Lachlan Galvin being out of this game, but he has been named. He's got hand and ankle niggles, so he'll probably get a few pain-killing injections to get that. Toby Sexton has been named as part of the extended squad, so just in case Lachlan Galvin can't play. Adam G is the referee for this one. The last game on Super Saturday, Bulldogs and Warriors. Ella, who are you tipping in this one?
In this one, I'm going for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think the Bulldogs will bounce back myself as well. In this one, a few big outs for the Warriors, so I think the Bulldogs will bounce back and get a victory in this one. The next game, or the first game I should say, on Sunday is the Titans and the Rabbitohs. Now, look, this one is a very interesting one because 16 and 17th spot on the ladder, these two sides. The Titans in 16th, the Rabbitohs in 17th, both on 16 points. So very, very interesting, this one. An early edition of Spoon Bowl. But look, these two sides have struggled all season. It's the first time this year that they are meeting. The Titans, they were very unlucky to lose to the Panthers last week in Golden Point. A few controversial decisions and the like were there. Phil Sami, he has entered the concussion protocols for the Titans. Alafiana Khan Pereira comes onto the wing. Chris Randall also, he was in concussion protocols. He returns to the back row. So that's good news for them. For the Rabbitohs, look, Latrell Mitchell, he has been named on an extended bench in jersey number 22. So he looks to make a return from a quad injury. He's been out for the last 4 weeks. Also, Brandon Smith has been named on the interchange bench in jumper number 16 as well for the Rabbitohs. Jamie Humphries and Peter Mamozelis have come through the concussion protocols and will line up on Sunday. This game being played up at Gold Coast at 2 p.m. Seabus Super Stadium. Adam G is the referee. Todd Smith is the referee on this game. Adam G is in the bunker for this game. I think the Titans played really good footy last week against the Panthers at home. Ella, who are you tipping in this one?
In the 7th game?
Yep.
I'm going for the Titans.
Yeah, I'm going to tip the Titans as well. Unfortunately, I do not think that the Rabbitohs can get near them just because of the way that the Titans played last week against the Panthers. Now, the last game of the round, a game that I will be at, is at CommBank Stadium.
Oh, this is the one where I surprised the fans.
Well, you're probably giving it a little bit away there by saying that you're going to surprise them, because if they are keen listeners to the podcast, they'll probably know why.
Yeah, but hey, there could be a different surprise. They don't know.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go through the information here. Now, for the home side, unfortunately, Sean Russell has broken his hand. He is out between 4 to 6 weeks. And Sam Tuivasa has suffered a grade 2 medial ligament injury in his right knee as well. So he is out for the rest of the year, unfortunately, for young Sam. Playing some good footy as well. Got a taste of first grade. Came back from injury the last 2 weeks, I think it was. So in the place of Sean Russell, Jordan Samrani comes into the centres, and Kelman Tuilagi comes onto the bench for Sam Tuivasa. So they are the only two changes to the Parramatta side. For the Cowboys side, Jason Taumalolo comes back, Jake Clifford comes back, and also Tom McKaylee as well. So a few big changes for them. A couple of players moving away. Jeremiah Nanai goes back at the forwards after playing centre last week as well. So, look, interesting for him as well, back into his natural position there as well. Liam Kennedy is the referee for this game. Now, if we look at the team stats, this is the first time this season that these two sides have played. The last time they played was last season. It was round number 6 last year at CommBank Stadium, this very venue where this game will be played. It was a 27 points to 20 victory for the Eels on that occasion. Parramatta have been playing some pretty good footy lately, just haven't got the results, but they are getting... The young guys are getting experience in this game as well, starting off their NRL careers. The Cowboys in 13th spot on 19 points. The Eels in 15th spot on 18 points. So a crucial game for both of these sides to get away from that bottom of the ladder. If Parramatta can win, they can jump the Cowboys. And also they can jump the Cowboys, and that will be a great thing to jump up another spot in the ladder. And if results go their way, they can jump up 2 spots. Actually, they can beat if Panthers beat the Knights, and if Parramatta beat the Cowboys, they can jump up to 13th. So a big game for Parramatta. Hopefully they can get the win. Now, look, everyone knows that I am going to probably tip Parramatta, and I am going to tip Parramatta, and so now I will hand it over to you, Ella. Who are you going to tip in this game?
Okay. So this might be a little bit of a surprise. You know that team I never tip?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm tipping Eels.
Wow.
I know.
Okay, there you go.
Not very iconic of me.
There you go. You heard it here first, listeners. Now, let me just ask you this. What made you tip Parramatta this weekend?
I was originally going with Cowboys, was it?
Yep.
Okay. So I was originally going with Cowboys.
Yep.
But you said that they might have a good chance at winning.
Yep.
So...
Did I convince you, did I?
No.
Okay.
Why would you ever convince me?
I don't know. Did I change your mind, did I?
No.
No?
I just went with my feelings.
Okay.
And I was like, I feel like they're going to win.
Okay, well...
But, I still have my tips as Cowboys, so I might be changing it to, 5 minutes before the game.
Okay, well, look,
or before
that
the
is
first
great
game.
news that you've tipped Parramatta, and we'll see if anyone on Instagram notices that you've actually tipped the Eels this week. we'll see if anyone notices when I put the pictures up on Thursday. If anyone notices that you've tipped Parramatta, because I think that could be about the second time this year you've done it.
No, first.
Is it the first?
First, I think.
Okay. Well, there you go. First time for everything, and it happened in round number 23 that Ella tipped Parramatta. So
Round 23
Yeah.
of 2025.
that's
2025.
right. That's right. So there we go. There now, if we quickly run through the tips, Ella, who have you got in your tips for this week, round number 23?
Storm, Panthers, Raiders, Sharks, Dolphins, Bulldogs, Titans, and Eels.
Okay, I have got the Storm, Panthers, Raiders, Sharks, Dolphins, Bulldogs, Titans, Eels. Is that the same?
I think so.
Oh, well, there we go. Great minds think alike. Let us know who you guys are tipping. And the Tigers, they have the bye this week. So
Bye-bye.
another 2 points for them. Now, just quickly, it is round number 6 in the NRLW as well, and it is the first time that the ladies will be wearing the indigenous jumpers of their clubs as well, being Indigenous round. The Dragons take on the Sharks, the Knights take on the Tigers, the Bulldogs take on the Warriors, the Titans take on the Roosters, the Raiders take on the Broncos, and the Eels take on the Cowboys. Now, the Eels-Cowboys game is on at 6:15 after the NRL game. So if you are in Parramatta at the ground, please stick around and watch some NRLW action as well. Just quickly, I will tip the Sharks, the Knights, the Bulldogs, the Roosters, the Broncos, and Parramatta. Look,
Of
that's
course, you're tipping Para.
yeah, well, you know, they had a good gutsy win against Dragons last week after a few injuries. Look, that's all we got time for today. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Please give me a follow on Instagram and Facebook and Apple and Spotify as well. Ella, thank you very much for your time today. Really much appreciate it. The Para Cave podcast by the fan.
For the fan.
Go Para.
Bye.
Ellen, how you going,
Russ.
mate? Are you a Para Cave podcast listener?
I am, bro. It's a
Okay.
great podcast. Everyone tune in. Bro.
Go Para.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Para Cave podcast. See you next time.